What's up guys, my name is Seth, you're watching Petrol 360 and we're back on the F100. Today we're going to be trying to get the bed off of the truck so we can get it in the garage and start working on the next part of the build. Alright guys, so in the last part we were working on the paint and we've got it pretty much to a good point of patina. So the next thing we're going to have to tackle is back here. So I do want to try and pull this bed off. So the next stage is going to be a new rear end and a 5-speed swap. So bed needs to come up and off so that we can swap this axle out, as well as put some C-notches in the frame here. So this truck has already gotten the shackle kit, so it lowers the rear end. We're going to be doing an axle flip to get a little bit lower, so we need to clearance the frame. So we need the bed to come off to do that. And it's going to make it a whole lot easier to do the rear end and everything. So right now, first job is to get the bed off. I've actually never pulled a bed, so I've seen some people kind of do it this way. Most people come here to the rail of it, but since I have some of these boards out, I can go to the frame, which gets the lift a little bit lower. So I'm hoping that I can lift from here and then just simply drive the truck out. So we're going to attempt to pull it up right now. Well, that actually worked out extremely well, and if you saw, this side was a little bit lower, so I just pulled up on that ratchet strap to kind of level it out. So we're clear back here on the cab. It's moving a little bit because it is windy, but now I have enough space where I can just pull the truck forward. So the kicker is the engine hoist is up against the bumper, so I can't roll back at all, or else I'll end up moving the whole thing back. So fingers crossed I can get it cranked up and move it out of the way, and we can just drop the bed down. All right, bed is off. Now we've got it in the garage here, so I can kind of show you a little bit more about what's going on already. So it does have lowering shackles in the rear. I think these are DJI, and it has the flips up here. Typically this sits below, but this is aftermarket, so it's already been lowered in the rear. I feel like this is about 3 to 4 inches of lowering. I say that because we did an axle flip on my dad's 64 and stock mounts, and it seems like it's about the same height as it. So I should be looking at, after the axle flip, maybe somewhere between 6 and 8 inches. It's going to be hard for me nail down an exact number, but we are going to have to C-notch the frame. So I probably got maybe 3 inches between the bump stops. You can see it a little bit better over here. See if we can. So yeah, about 3 inches or so. So I'm pretty much going to be sitting, I mean, you can see where the top of the spring pack is sitting right now. That's where the axle is going to live. So we have to put a pretty sizable notch to be able to drive like that. So show you what we've got for that. So I've been collecting parts for a while now. So I did get the new saddles. So this is going to mount the 8.8 to the leaf springs. So I'm going to keep leaf springs rather than doing coilovers or anything like that. Just keep it simple. And I also wanted to hold a bit of weight because I do plan on towing with this thing a little bit. And this is from Queen City Fab. I thought they were in Charlotte, but I don't think they are. I think they're somewhere else. I live near Charlotte, North Carolina, so it's known as Queen City, but I got a notch kit. So I think this is a 6 or 8 inch notch, and I believe it's 1/8 inch plate steel. I wish it was a little bit thicker, but now that I'm looking at the stock frame, this is actually about the thickness of the stock frame. So that's not a super big deal. I think it's going to be plenty strong enough, but it is going to be completely boxed. So I've got these, and now that I'm looking at this, I probably need to go ahead and add the C-notch kit before removing the axle. So I'm going to kind of sit down and figure out what order all this is going to need to happen. So I've got a long list of stuff that I want to do at this phase. It's going to be 5-speed swapped. I do have a T5 transmission right there. Not 100% sure how I'm going to attach it to this motor, if I'm going to use the bell housings I have and go to a hydro clutch, or if I want to keep the stock bell housing for this motor and clutch assembly and then get an adapter. Still not 100% sure yet. We'll figure that out once I get this whole transmission out. Another thing I want to do is I want to put a hitch on this truck, but since it is going to be low, I don't want it sitting underneath. It's already going to be low enough. So I'm going to put a hinged license plate holder right here. I'm going to punch a hole right here and put my receiver just behind the bumper here. So I'm going to have a bar coming across, the receiver here, bar to here, and I think I'm going to have it bolt to here for a little bit of stability front and back. So I think that's going to get me for towing, for what I'm going to be towing. I've got a John boat and some other, just utility trailers and stuff. Nothing crazy, not towing car trailers, but I do want to try and do that. I'm not 100% sure if I want to address the cab corners. I feel like I should, but that's going to be an extra couple days worth of labor. So the exhaust is hitting the center cross member, so I either need to lift it up or redo it. It sounds okay. It's a little bit loud, but that's one thing I'm going to try to address. Obviously, rear end C-notches, I'm going to put a support at the top of the C-notches to keep them from bending in, and then I'll probably put new shock mounts up to there, and then I'm going to have to plumb new brake lines, and I do have new e-brake cables for this axle, and I'll show you guys how to use that with the stock lever that's underneath the truck. As far as the bed goes, I actually think I decided that I am going to paint this bed to match. So to get this bed to match the truck, I'm going to have to paint this entire bed white, and then I'm going to have to paint it blue to match the cab. So that's going to be quite a project. I think I'm going to try to keep a lot of these rust spots, kind of doing the same technique I did on the bumper, where I'll cover this with grease and then I'll paint everything and wipe it off, and you'll have the rust underneath it to look kind of natural. But this bed has been painted a bunch of times. I sanded here to see what was underneath here, and so it's been painted gold multiple times, and there's even gold down here. I didn't even get all the way to sheet metal, I don't think. But originally it was this green color. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead, paint it white, just do some really cheap paint. Probably Rust-Oleum white, and then see about getting some of that blue matched up once I figure out exactly what that color is. Alright guys, quite a few hours later, and quite a bit has been done. As you can see, no drive shaft. Along with that, there's no transmission. So, 3-speed top loader is out, along with all the supporting parts. So, bell housing, flywheel, clutch, starter, the block plate, as well as the clutch fork. So kind of ups and downs for removing all this. I've been back and forth between two different setups for the transmission. So my first idea was to use an aluminum T5 bell housing. So it seems pretty simple, easy. So I already ordered a bunch of stuff from I think a Speedway parts to convert it to hydraulic and get it in the truck. But I wasn't 100% sure. It's going to be a lot of extra work, as well as that bell housing, which is what I would need to use, does not fit the motor with it in the truck. So I don't want to have to pull the motor just to get the transmission installed. Seems like a really big pain in the butt, but it just doesn't have room between a cross member that sits right underneath it and the block itself. So I think what I'm going to do is return the stuff I got from Speedway, and Modern Driveline makes an adapter to make this bell housing bolt up to my T5. So I sent them an email. Hopefully they're going to tell me what adapter I need. Hopefully they have an adapter. Otherwise, I don't know where we're at. But that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. But that's why I wanted to get the transmission out of the truck first, so I can make plans on next steps. So with the Modern Driveline adapter, I can go ahead and use the clutch that's in the truck. But the issue is this clutch shuddered like crazy when you were slipping the clutch. So as it turns out, this flywheel is totally trashed. The clutch has been replaced. It says made in China. It actually doesn't look that old. But this flywheel, hot spots and cracks all over it. It is absolute garbage. So I was planning on replacing it. So definitely glad we got it out, and now we know for sure. So hopefully you guys can see all of the cracks that are in this flywheel and the hot spots and everything else. So this one, if it's not original, it is a Ford, so it's probably had a ton of miles put on it. And with this 3-speed, you had to slip the clutch quite a bit, so it's no surprise this is garbage. But I do need to figure out what size this is and get one of those ordered as well. So a lot of stuff to order to get the 5-speed in here. But right now, what I think I'm going to try to work on is getting the rear C-notches in, so I can go ahead and swap that axle out. Alright guys, welcome back. It's the next morning, and I pretty much have the notches installed. So I've got the side plates and the top plate installed, and they're pretty much matching. They are obviously centered on the axle here. So I'm going to go through one more time and double check that these are exactly where they need to be, and then I'm going to weld all these inside edges that I can. And then I'm going to plate the tops here, and then I guess the only next thing to do is to go ahead and lop off the frame in between so I can box in the inside of this. So these went on pretty easily. Definitely just having to take your time, make sure that all the angles are right. Electric angle finder is definitely best friend for this. So hopefully it won't be too difficult to cut out the insides of these, but yeah, just one step at a time. Okay, another update. I've pretty much got everything welded up, and I'm ready to cut out the center section. So got both lined up, got them tacked in how I wanted them. I welded to the top of the frames on the insides, and then I boxed out the outsides. I've also added metal below there, so that's a complete piece. I'm gonna have to do something because the bottom of the frame dips in right there where the shock used to go to get out of the way. So I'd like to add something on there, but we'll do that after a little while. But you can see the metal above, metal below. I don't have the inside pieces. Those are gonna have to wait until the part's cut out, but I TIG welded. So TIG welded the tops on these. I asked on Instagram, you guys said go ahead and TIG weld it. I ended up having a problem with my torch right here, and it was leaking gas, so I needed to replace my torch lead, unfortunately. But this one actually turned out pretty good, nice and clean. Figured I'd TIG weld on top because it would look better, but then I MIG welded this one, and you can see how nice it actually looks. So, you know, live and learn, but it was really good practice TIG welding. That was a lot of time spent welding so far. Definitely need to give my eyes a break, but it's going pretty well. Now I just need to decide how I want to cut out this center section. And yeah, the frame dips in right here and right here. That's why these welds look awful. But honestly, I'm probably going to cut through most of it, but I wanted to make sure I had as much reinforcement as I could get. So now I need to decide if I'm going to use a plasma cutter or what to get this chunk of metal out. So we'll get back whenever we finish that up. Alright guys, so got everything cut out last night and went ahead and finish welded everything in there. So this is probably where I'm going to leave it for this video. This is a heck of a weekend's worth of work getting the entire drivetrain pulled out and notched the rear end of the frame. So a lot of welding, a lot of grinding. In fact, I actually ran out of welding wire. Had to run to the store and get some more. It was just a 2-pound spool that came with the welder, so not too big of a deal. But I think I'm gonna wait for the next episode. We'll start. We'll pull this axle out, get the new one in. Got to clean up a lot of those parts. And this week I'm gonna try to order a new flywheel and a lot of the other parts that I need to get the 5-speed in this truck. Thanks for checking out this video. If you like this build, make sure to check me out on Instagram. I post a lot more stuff on there than I do on YouTube, and it's a lot more current. These videos take a while for me to get out, but if you like it, please hit the like button and think about subscribing to check out more of this build as well as others I got going on. So see you guys next time.